So the Jaguars make a big trade today. Jaguars trade for Jakobi Meyers, wide receiver from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this is one that was a lot of smoke around this one. This one was going around big time because Jakobi Meyers just being on a bad team over with the Raiders. He's a guy that a lot of people kind of projected would eventually get traded, and he was even connected to the Jaguars in a lot of senses. So, let's see. Yeah, we got a link in here. Just making sure I said this to public. So this is the exact kind of move that I wanted to make because I didn't want to trade away any day two picks. The Jaguars have a second round pick and 3 third-round picks. I wasn't trying to trade any of those away, but the Jaguars give up a fourth and a sixth round pick. I think that's a great value. That's exactly what we should do. And if you look at the Jaguars wide receiver situation, you wouldn't think that, in week one we'd be making a move for wide receiver, but Jaguars just decimated with injuries right now. Of course, Travis Hunter is on the IR right now. Brian Thomas Jr. got hurt against the Raiders. He hurt his ankle, and he's been dealing with all kinds of stuff: shoulder, wrist, and whatever else is going on that maybe isn't being reported out there. De'Ami Brown was dealing with a shoulder, and then he got put in concussion protocol against the Raiders. Tim Patrick was inactive before the game, so he never even made it into the game. So, boom, 4 out of 6 of the wide receivers on the Jaguars' day one roster inactive, or not inactive, but hurt in some senses. So, the Jaguars make a move for Jakobi Meyers, who has done a lot in his NFL career, spent his rookie contract playing for the New England Patriots, played on the Raiders since 2023. He's a guy that's an excellent route runner. He's a guy that should instantly be able to get plenty of playing time for the Jaguars. And the Jaguars wide receiver position just been in a little bit of a funk. The only guy I feel like that hasn't really disappointed has been Parker Washington. So hopefully Parker Washington can catch the balls that come his way, and hopefully he can run the routes, and we'll see how quick he can get into the playbook because we've seen a lot of alignment issues come from the wide receivers. With Brian Thomas Jr. and what's it called? Even Travis Hunter, Parker Washington's been in that situation before too. So I'm hoping that he can get acclimated really quickly and make an impact as soon as the Houston game on Sunday. So the Jaguars definitely get some much needed help. I'm really excited about this. And we'll see if the Jaguars do anything else. I know Swift Jit said, let's get Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams would definitely demand probably our second round pick. So do you want to trade for Quinnen Williams and be without a first and second round pick and rely on a bunch of third round picks? There's teams that have the luxury of doing that. Like yesterday, the Eagles traded for Jalen Phillips, trade away a third round pick. I don't think the roster, and this is no fault of James Gladstone because he's having to rebuild and retool based on what Trent Baalke did, but I don't think the Jaguars roster is really in a position where we can trade that away for a guy like that, right? So, as much as I would like it, I just feel like they're going to be getting a bunch of making trades, trading away day 3 picks. Cash World says Jakobi Meyers is such a good signing. It is. And I know they were, it was kind of going semi-Jaguars viral that Tony Maselli was talking to Jakobi Meyers after the game. It's kind of crazy that, they talked to him. And I wonder, was Jakobi Meyers the guy that was wide open in the end zone before Devon Hamilton batted it? Wouldn't it have been awkward if he caught the game winner against the Jaguars and then went and joined the Jaguars and maybe that cost them a playoff spot? That'd be wild. We'll have to see. I don't know if he's under contract for another year, so I don't know if he's on an expiring deal. Jazz are getting Trey Hendrickson too. I would doubt it. That will cost a first-round pick. We only have a first-round pick. So, question: since we are adding Myers, in your opinion, everyone healthy, who is the number 1 wide receiver? Brian Thomas Jr. still is, but I think Jakobi Meyers will get a lot of play for sure. But I think it's just going to be more of a committee approach. I don't think there's a real guy that Parker Washington has a lot of trust with Trevor Lawrence, and he's probably been the Jaguars' best wide receiver this year, but does that make him wide receiver 1? I wouldn't say so. This means that Travis Hunter goes strictly to defense, 100% snaps on defense now. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. So it was Trey Tucker. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was Jakobi Meyers. I didn't think it was Jakobi Meyers, but we'll see if the Jaguars make more moves. I know it's being rumored that maybe defensive line. I mean, if the Jaguars make one more move, I would think they'd be getting a defensive lineman to help with the pass rush. Some things to look out for: maybe a safety, maybe a tight end. Those are a couple things to kind of look out for. If we do go after tight end, then I would probably be concerned about Britton Strange's long-term availability, because you're not going to do that because Britton Strange technically only has one more game on the IR. Like, they can take him off the IR after the Texans game. But so with that said, like, if they make a move for tight end, that means, okay, maybe this isn't such great news for Britton Strange return. Bring Campbell back. Yeah, Campbell could be a guy. We'll see. It was Lockett. Okay. Whoever it was. It doesn't even matter whoever it was. The Jaguars got the W. And that's one thing. There's people in my comment sections, like, you can't even be happy about this win. The Raiders are trash. I don't know if I'll ever, as a Jaguars fan, ever try to talk down a win. Because this is the NFL. It's not like, it's not like University of Florida playing like New Hampshire and they only beat them by 3. This is the NFL. Like, this league is built for parity. I think even if the Jaguars were 8-0 and they barely squeaked by an 0-8 team, I think I'd still be celebrating a victory because, I mean, these games are important. I mean, these games are big. You're playing NFL teams, so don't let anyone try to say that you shouldn't feel good about it. There should be things that you could be concerned about, but yeah, I don't think I'll ever be disappointed in a win. You always celebrate a victory. I don't care who you play. Exactly. Wins are win, even if they are ugly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A win is a win. The Jaguars are 5-3. They have a chance to completely bury the Texans, which would be so sweet. Texans are 3-5. Jaguars, if they beat them, Texans would fall to 3-6, and then no hope for the Texans. Not only do you bury them, you also get a sweep of the Texans, and you're also 2-0 in the AFC South, which tiebreakers are big. Ultimately, the two biggest tiebreaker scenarios come through with division records and head-to-head. Hey, we beat the Chiefs, so that's a great head-to-head victory. We got the Chargers in a couple of weeks. That'll be a big one to potentially get. Rap sheet confirmed Travis Hunter is probably back after the required 3 games due to going to IR. Yeah, and I saw he said on the McAfee show, like, oh, the Jaguars keep winning games, I would expect him to come back. But I didn't know if that meant that he'd return in the playoffs or what exactly he meant by that. So we'll see. Got to be the Colts ourselves. Can't worry about who beats them too much, yeah. And honestly, if the Jaguars win out, then in the impossible situation, I'm not saying the Jaguars win out, but we control our own destiny. We're a game and a half behind the Colts. So if the Jaguars win out, that would mean that you get the 2 games against the Colts, and then the AFC South is yours. So everything's ahead of us. They still have a bunch of tough games. They still have the 49ers. They still have the Chiefs. They still have the Seahawks. Like, we got through the hard part. We get to play the Titans a couple times. We get to play the Jets. We get to play the Cardinals. It's nice, man. It's something up with Tim Patrick. I don't believe he's played a single snap versus the Raiders. Yeah, he was inactive. He has got a groin injury. Jaguars receiving core is very, very hurt right now. Also, guys, 150 people watching, 15 likes. Please drop a like for me. I'm out here on my lunch break. Colts have a brutal schedule here on out. Yeah, they do. Jakobi about to get a hospital ball in Houston. Look, that one guy, I know you're not big on Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence scored on every single possession in the second half and overtime on Sunday. Not the time I'm going to be shitting on Trevor Lawrence. Maybe after the Houston game, but I will say about Houston is no quarterback does good against Houston. That's a scary game. Always a scary game. Ready for the round table tonight. Hey guys, go join the round table, the AFC South round table. Tonight on the AFC South round table YouTube channel at 7:00. The Jaguars are the only team in the AFC South to win. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Trevor Lawrence 300+ yards and 4+ touchdowns coming up. I highly doubt it. I just want him to do enough to get a victory. So In case you're just joining, the Jaguars traded for wide receiver Jakobi Meyers from the Raiders. They traded away a 4th and a 6th round pick. Incredible value, to be honest with you. Like, keep your day 2 picks, unless you like. If you want to trade for Quinlan Williams, a 3rd round pick, and you take on that contract, that's fine because he did just sign a contract and he would be a part of the Jaguars' future. Like another one you could trade for, like I know they're saying they're not going to do it, but Jeffrey Simmons. Like you trade for those guys, they are legitimately in your future. I don't think Jakobi Meyers necessarily is, but we're trying to push for a playoff spot and we need help because the roster. I think I don't think the roster. I don't think they're a 5-3 roster. I think they are playing above themselves, and I give a lot of credit to coaching. With that said, I'm going to head out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Go Jags.